ala friends all, na colleagues all, most of the time.
Okay.
After work, they would all converge at our home, you know, like a CJ, like a Kachal Kijele and stuff, you know. Y'all need Delta, Grand Place, from move the sap off the same thing used to happen.
Okay.
You know, so Delta wala kono Kachal ning, you know, if na la friends will la no sabal ni la Kachal Delta wala, ika open mind back, you know. So they open mind to wala nyama sen koto kill ka ken friends salty and stuff also.
Okay, all right.
You know. So I was so open. I can discuss with my mom anyhow, you know, and that in as much as me so be alone, you know. But then, you know, so I can do nyama, you know, not could be sharing. So maybe the sense of activism also. Tartan koton now dindim. I will give you a story. In Tebenung nursery school, I used to say it sometimes. Be nursery school, na nursery school, mo mothers union banjulon dinjang.
Okay.
Yan mbama. Afama kabela botana Georgetown. Juna what mo mbama nyol be dindi yaring. I moved to banjulon dinne. So itel kuluta banjulon dinne yo mbe bahama time o min na wulu dindima na no se school nga ko masi jela after jomta jela
okay
mothers union no se school min banjulon din intel no first back tije
okay
you know I can remember being there at that time what moment primary school follow ngamera age 6 7 nkabo bahama le katama kata banjulon din in as much as traffic woman high no what mo moli because sila moto problem wala motor man sia you know kataji school ninji ta ngasena
okay
there was a day I can remember nganna friends all flangolu you know will be la famanyul mu officials le ti in Bahama je
okay
kam ni tan ko alngata police you know police
okay
angata police nga fo en kon telta tamalan singola you know fo ni moto provide no nyon mfa manuel be do ko la masakunda ya on sa
okay
you know when I went to report that police officers ya nyo kumandile ka fo nyoy alni la mo nyinde no la kam ko mala you know but it was interesting for them
okay
yeah accept you know they try to communicate my dad ka fayan ko I need danko bandu the police you understand and kabika yung permanent ako ha yo isne danko banyu ni police you know akijoya for back I wonder what was happening
okay
so I fumba maya ka idingo de police de ko ngatan danko je bar kabra nata ye nyun ko fay bar police wol kayan ko dinno lon de bari ko mom fo mu tonya ko molde you know dinno lon ka travel ka bo yundum Bahama camp kana jang traffic ko mon hay nyaaw na si lolam be dindi yare natural si wo provide no you know from that day on you know yemoto provide me along ko akan tel dindingul be bondi Bahama kan samba school
wow
you know yalla wo mu activism le de mi along ko akumashita
exactly
you won't continue le I can remember pour kata ka mo jam sutiyande demanding a similar thing happens when I was in Nusrat also you know kabo brikama moming be brikama students only siata kabo brikama kata Nusrat kata Gambia High St. Augustine's Muslim siata
okay
boss ko ka problem wote I led a crusade can make sure ngata GPTC in those days can make sure boso enough boso li sort of pour ka students all ferry ke bonde brikama ke samba wayati na le fang otumo boso fatni fano keta aka student of Dolta and from Banjul and others kanaki drop milk na brikama ning brikama secondary school ake you know wokola la kanan telta barin kalit ndela o protest ya tinale boss fula beke la brikama
le
sajin ka buji juna mkana late
okay honorable without wasting much time ngadum program ko because mo be yaron ko Pamani is a politician anu you are a politician of a particular political party menkata United Democratic Party but jenimba dunna wakono take us through a political tariff demanding for more jenimba dunna deep into United Democratic Party
yo coming kumasi daming nanying activism you know willing catapult into politics
okay
you know in school I can remember in Nusrat also even before Nusrat Nasir nga start ka administration ke question about certain things
okay
in Nasir nga one fenkoje malong for I would have for famous activism lam for infamous activism lam but I ketan nje minketa they would say ko student binala ila 1 year fees everything nyanta minjola bajo lombang books bills lombang uniform lombang everything iba bele jola then they would supply you understand yo adu molka obejo but sometimes it can have sort of certain material certain books abuka soto water yekodo bejo le yaje so molka to side complaints and stuff ni man ko do sort of extra to go and buy second hand books or books from other people it is a textbook also la and we supply on your man soto be man soto
okay
yaje so I led a protest on that kaitandiko they can only collect money from people based on material or min soto you understand e kana ko do be ta mol bulu foka pare man na material be soto o ni o keta ni abejo ni supply wato sita ni man min soto woto wo ko do yo murundima you go and buy it ima okay so nga protest ke against that nenanga minke wala minti ko because what mo discipline sort of back in Ahmadiyya school e kala fi uniform mo I correct those days tell school ji samoto jante kala white samoto leti kawaso e ke film mate then kurto film ma then ka koyo an bajo either of this ninga mankita drong ima uniform nga minke drong ngam fam mankinde bajo la nga uniform mo karam yan ko bajo and they wouldn't want that kabela fenke dan ko en kon nakko min balbulo wayna nan foron sita bajo sang so wakata diamo nin ku jamata ji ay diamo wulinde fo finger so what had made changes you understand when I came to Nusrat the same thing ngamim for students all representative soul council ning prefect soul and stuff wol nyante kala molle te mi yalla ko student all fon le nyante to monna because wol le nyante represent la pour ning school administration tema not the administration ka jube ni student no wala ko di ata yota ya fo wala be kala Allah head boy to Allah head gal also
so hold on are we coming towards the political side?
Yes, I'm coming me atina activism ning wala political zeal dinna you understand wala atina ngaje ko when it comes to even nationhood administration banko maro governments woto mol la nyanto mo minti ani mol lafta mina wala nyanta kala ning Allah lafta wayken nak falsa la lodu la ta you know na be jarla protest la when I say protest not to demonstrate also when I say protest to showcase what you have na be jarla wala so it started from there so which means na political fenko insafoko it's just natural when I was an activist from childhood anata wala nyama ngamera time wala nte ba ma ka je ko nying akunjata la fenkete la watara mbe
you are targeting something
exactly for nata na political but political kono mte ba commencer la wato mena with all honesty otembo doiling orient back when I was in high school being an activist here anti-apartheid what more apartheid system obe South Africa Nelson Mandela nyol la ko biji mbe wol mira kang Shamora Michelle nyol and everything mi dalan ko African liberation struggle obe on wato minna Namibia swapo so ko ben kuno wato minna then doy nata ka miro min yitande molla mo nyante la nyantolo na nyaming banko nyanta marala nyaming banko si develop no nyaming fana handing at a resource balbulu wol yaita ni molla la ko banko tekere min fota ye fe ngofen nin soto you can model bije mo soto andi be sulari ngala you can work on that ka make sure ay nafa kula isaje ya bondi doli yo soto je ite fona min soto wayna nan jam
exactly
so ngo bele je bari wo bete keno la politiko koma so wole ndundi politiko kono mandi ngo orientation soto doyra Halifa Sallah nen si dejata keta muti mi yalan kon ke la moy baake karantebulu baake
they were political members Honorable, let's talk about United Democratic Party.
Right.
You as a new campaign manager of the party, because ngajele previously months back ngajele some of the executive members many alonko wolle botaje people like Ahmed Talib Benzouda, people like Karafa Sonko ite men Place Water and all of people Tombong Sedi and Lamin Lopi Jame and all of that. So nata je bri position volta ye di ite nata ke the lucky one to men winter as the campaign manager adunga fo ham fananko campaign manager la do ko mente that is to sell your candidate to the people of the Gambia men keta la flag bearati. How do you intend to sell your candidate for the upcoming 2026 presidential elections?
Oh, thank you very much. Wo kumana bari mamera wo kolata bake. Because Mbye ibe candidate o min fokan.
Okay.
Kufulalom. candidate o fan a momenti yalo ate mu marchandise solete you are saying ben candidate o wafla nyaadi le
exactly
yo ning marchandise lam wala minti ko tumando na marchandise o mba wafla nyaadi le yo marchandise o wafo folo min ka diandi wala marchandise o fan marchandise o fan la betea nim banano lam e lafta wafla ite be diamo min fola ka fonna banano be dafen kana bari min lafta sanna fasi banano nyinje na yaje na be ke kuring so candidate o nyin o mu one aspect lati na candidate o pour kay tan di molla ka fo mole mo sifa mim mati pour kay tan ko a jartale o man ko la ya wala alhamdulillah en ka fa baba for reason ay fa ya si tel mo jamale because mo be kala fi yemo ko mandi fala mi yalan ko aya mankuto soto ka banko mara e nyanta mankuto kendo soto lale mo yato no bari nyanta londo soto lale e nyanta hikma fana soto lale e nyanta kala sabar la bati fana e nyanta kala molete mi yalan ko ila jar jaro you know a senata bake e nyanta kala moti mi yalan ko mol ya jeko yes mol la sulo soto adun baba e wo soto you know jannaay dum politiko fankono nga woje baba keta moti mi ya lonko ay loya ya le karang ay loya ya karang aketa loyati mi loya ya dafa wutumo gambian kol milbe loya ya la mansia dantannam bari wo kola anataka moti mi ya lonko ay sulo soto do balla koto baki pour que ma koy ala loya ya kono ma foka fencika ka dila de bari dunia jamano kono society kono mol ka sula loya layla ku jama mol ka nakare ya kela ka boy kan kela fonta bari bawo be loi banko le kan fo si ko nyin samba loi la ni samba loi la fo loya le si loke difen akata moti mi ya lon ko alota do baliye bake andung amajube bota daming amajube momenti ni nata e futatama yela case put across kamin jube fotonya tonya yete nakariale ka loye mo be yo sede ala koto andung amam fen nyinin ka woto jama nka fole ko wati do ala able secretary mi yalon ko na meta back fat nyan you know wala ne ka foko anyaya jele mol kana ka kesoto ikumboto e kanaya ka itandala ko be lafring ay loye ba otumando asatara ila korda ye wala tebulu andu satara ni la dimbal bebe jikiri wo korda le be funtindla wonyong sifal ngota as an example bara wona ke sifal fanyan ka foko ikana hani ibela case file jola minna abukata rebulu aka fa fanyaye na kodo bondi ya ka teje komi ngatele ya jo aka molla case file jo ate fonga ya pour ka wala case ta ni pareta ya fo ko ta yedwa jamano e useni yo kusi fal kele banko kan alhamdulillah siata mo tewo dispute no la you know lot of famous cases nyol mi dal ko keta jang allo ta wala janna alhamdulillah
sa akamunta in sort
ate marchandise la mi yalan ko fana bar ni botaji anatake moti mi yalan ko abe political party wala nyaton kayaka pour ka wafi o political party ko no nka dula kilin jube political party o mem United Democratic Party asotota nyaadi le asotota wati jamale nka party jamal je hani bi party ol miliyalon ko be lo kan jang jama ika lo around an individual mo kilin ne ka je ko nte lafta kala president whatever the case hanning ata ya feel ko I want to effect change I want to lead the country so that nsi mo la balunya so ni andere baraka na aka center around you that personality ye party o nyin lo foka pre ya nya tonka ya party ol mil baby ya ni la history ju babe kon nyam bari party o min usen da boya nya tonka ya on party ol mi yalon ko alota wato mi yalon ko nyim banko be ngata wala kono because bring a independence soto PPP man sakundara be jang mbe jang up to 1994 coup d'etat keta ko mala suti akama coup d'etat min keta on constitutional change of government banko mol man ota hanning atara moli ya lonko yi opposition party lo jang parties like NCP GPP e bi jang e be lafrin banko e fali nyaawnya bari be lafrin ay ke luwale koto anin sartol koto birin coup d'etat keta ya jakum mbe lafling faring wala bari mbe lafring ala luani sa tolle koto ning atara wolam ñil mi yekude tarake mankuno je ya kele fa banta bari banko nyanta muruna to constitutional rule e be wala advocate kan no ila wo advocacy kono ñi mul nata jago okay fine we will return the country to constitutional rule
okay
but then mfana be lola lembe patio lola mfangole banko mul ya jago ñil mo nyanta hakil to kele la kotole fonni ke wol mi yalon ko kidi wol taye banko la constitutional blow inata e ko be lola woto wol they would want to make sure in any which way ye ganye ye see
sure
woto nabe wonyama can we see the country and not ourselves Asan Musa Kamara ntemu GPP kolte ninna patio Sheriff Diba ntemu NCPLT PPP woto mo sa dawda ti jang barabe oje jallo bulu nakeba alama ala yam fukaye you know be wala bulu why not we come together nga bankoje nga one entity law
okay that's the coalition
okay wole UDP law nyakata tan
okay
yo patio min lo ta wo sin kan banko la ko kama mol mi ya lo ibe la selfish interest landile
okay.
e bankoje they come together mo nyanta hakil tuwo kala wo patio lo nyatole kabra lo ta fana oto mo nyaton katije mil ya lo ma amanke ko tele lafta ka ke nyaton ko na ta fuko lo ta la register now we need to have a leader
okay
they want to search for a leader moro ye mo jamale konkon jande ke leader ti at that time people give various reasons or excuses you know genuine or ingenuine whatever
okay
but whatever reason nyaton ko man sotono adu mobe sularing nyiliya foko election o bitakela 96 you understand until some of those people thought of Usainu Dabo ibal ko mi rela wato mina mantara nyim banko kan
okay
o bango tembo Usainu kamin fodron na lafta kapatio lo afangoye ay nyiming ay ke president asake no a londo bala ning atara fankolam afanko bala ning atara wulu nyalam aya wulu a wuluta a wulu nya bala ning atara darajolam a darajo bala bara amantara into politics abe service ke kan humanity ani nyimbanko in the area I mean study wo kanyantama kabriya choose anatanan kuma suti ya kama anin banko mol kachata ka jube ko nyin sulo man katela sulote bari banko mol la sulo
okay.
nin atara jarta I sacrifice to lead this country this party aba kelale
okay.
risk min bebije ayabe sute but he can sacrifice and do it for
lead the party okay
so momi ya lonko anata accept wonyala fay nyim party o lead ntenga wol bele jube mbuka nyina wol lungol lela
okay
you understand but yo lo ta nyaadile jumalle ya lo dalila jamale kan yemin ka nyaton koti wo mo sifa nyaadi dete kabri ya fay ay mine consider prior accept ka party o lead kanatara wo cruciate kono bari wo kono 1996 fojam nimbe futala 2016 wo jamalle keta nimbanko kan
ciao
adu wol mil keta aketa molla from various areas from various angles bara keta UDP lalde aketa UDP la bara keta Usainu Dabo fana lale woto nabe wo nyama pour hakil tuwo ke wo mari la kola wo wartale wo dum min be kata jangaje ko amanke gamyan kolye kuti mi yalon ka be mabori yele ya be kala mutale and obviously lumina abinala ay min fo wala nyinte ko mbenyin leadership tala pour ka nyim patio tete nga man sakundata pour nyim banko mol du senem lalati ninga banko ta nsi seno yiri wande nga seno balunde katon selole si nyim banko bono pour nyim banko mol lafte dingul ye karang karam mol si topoto no ya on sanda mol ye karang o satare mambata kije nyim banko mol lafta hadama dingul ye dajika na dingul ye dajika kato dingul ni dajika ta otol mi kam mankutu nyimma soto ni ke batay fanasi dingol kulu nya nyimma mbela fin wala so obviously ni atara be wala nyaman tata up to this date wo man soto no bari we ate be loring lonkan siw min ka hanisa be loring
wala ka
na fil ko banko mol nyanta mutala fele foja nimbe futala wo tembo so pour ka wo pati wo wafi with the agenda it's have the principles and policies ya min soto aninka wo nyaton ko wafi ntenga mutako is the most easiest thing you know so that I'm very much convinced
Nento I want your interview with Kefatu ma follow kana throughout but ngaje ye kumofo iko banko president Adama Barrow iti ajele ko amanke maral lati man ko maral mon kuto tala munati na yo kuma kanfo
Okay, do be fanna do la is personal.
Oh, okay.
It's personal because he's somebody I know
Okay.
before presidency.
Okay.
Somebody I used to love as a family
Okay.
and as a friend.
Okay.
I hani bi woman manki.
Woman boje. Okay.
Adambaro. Nga kanu as a family, as a friend.
Okay.
Hani wodomandu hani miskala jat amantala woto. Adu ngaji ki wole fo ya tinna. I am pushing more. I want to push more so that as a happy ending sort of.
Okay.
Ntela oposo. Ntela want ka mbela frinka campaign ka make sure UDP ya bondi akana me pour tinyari ba kana ka bulu because tinyaro ko masitale.
Yeah, sure.
Nyalo ka be dimin kanne. Pour akana wara to a magnitude ning abota aina ke kolea kuti prayer remedy. Nga long wala la amano. One aspect.
Okay.
The other thing is, he've been tested. Nga minjube wala miente ko. In as much as nga feel ko o mankuto o maral mankuto ama soto maral la mankuto ama soto. Nga feel ko if we come together, how did we come together 2016?
Okay.
Kumol mil be fota, kumol mil nyanta kela. Fo kate tambindi. Ka jako ate tonya hana mankente ngal min suute ala koto bari jamaya suute le ko tonya nyi manke moti mi yalan ko ayo higma soto to pour kamara loke bara bota patiyo min ko to patiyo nyi barakatale anu patiyo nyi be soto le so obviously patiyo nyi nay momon din support at that time e be ganyela le so nin atala keta wonyama anda tayo fana be kalamata jele nin tata ko kono ntenga mirala hakiltu wonyanta tala o patiyo la koto bakele nyaton kaya ko anin ka lafika si maralo sirankan o manya na ke isuti between him and the party because dafa wara delo njukal party
bi okay
understand so ngaji ko man kita wol belal wo be yengri may min na ngamil longa la kuoto you understand wol be man kita la kuoto
okay
yaje natana tara kuoto nyimbanko ni yaje mol kafutano nyoma man ko kam fo ni yaje no salni mbal kafutano nyoma 2016 pour ka je ko falingo yake hanning ata preparation o manke after falingo la otmo de tobe caring ni aje wo be ketano system la ya sabu oton tinga mira nata na marol anyanta hakiltu fula sotla
okay
mil kafutano nyoma pour ka wo falingo ke anyanta hakilu la wala koto bari wol be kafutano nyoma dalilo minna pour ka je ko wo system o e clean anyanta hakilu la wotole
akamuntate atala hakiltu wadasata wo
wala
okay
ibaje la system o mi yatina molbe kafuta nyoma atema wo amantara wo jara kan instead mol mi yalon ko be wo system o bambandi kan pour wo system o sabati nu ati yesi fa wolela ani wol be kekan ani wol bitakan kam mol hadani mi yalon ko wol kafuta nyoma kaje ko wo system o e bo and not against personalities
okay
but system o yin against governance system
okay
you understand personality mil bi je wol manke problem ti bari nin atara wol be wo system kilin wo lafta ka wol balundi ka wo continent wo mu isulati
okay
atani wol be dende be nyin don hadani ka mil yalon koy batata andu ila mol fata during that struggle ngaje ko manke mana betati ninga be wonya ma ngafil ko adama manyana ka me maralola because abe ko min kika abe mola wounds ning aba
increase kan Nyancho, being a local 2026 presidential election is just right at the corner. Abe tonkongotanane and menkafo previously wolam nyintiko IC ka election on manipulate like a cheating neke. So let's assume they cheated on the 2026 presidential election. UDP will stand bekelamuneti towards that.
I don't want to assume they will cheat.
Oh,
I don't want to assume they will cheat.
Okay.
I don't. But equal. Let's assume they cheat.
Yes, let's assume they cheat.
They cheat? Cheating is wrong. If you cheat, there is a law. You know, we are lawful people. Yalong nkami mfontel lokita. You know, napatio la nyatonko baba. Lua tiolam, lua lonnalamu. I believe the lua lela. Asikole anyawonya. I believe the lua la. Bao nyimbanko be marakang lua bulole kang. Because I come for we want to restore constitutional rule and the rule of law.
Okay.
And he being a lawyer, me along quite long, and a constitutional lawyer in particular, you know, a kuoku akala fikata nin sartola. Nimi yo nakarea, asining alatu. wala na at the same time na di amata samata ko talibolam ga fa ko la nyate kula na manke ala ya la nyaming he believe in that he would always say la hawla wala quwwata illa billah you understand and tata fo ga fa ko he is not only a lawyer but he is the law. Okay. You know, so ntenga feel ko ning atara dalilo sotora ko ye sunya role ke cheating neketa mbe loi la costala because kamen fo ntete force wotala adun tesella furewol pour ka fo ko kata state house. That's not the issue. I want to sanitize this the politics of this country. I want to sanitize the governance of this country. But in kamen fo nte ka mutal ko IEC would not cheat.
Okay.
Nte ka wala muta mafo they haven't cheated before. But I will say they won't cheat.
This time around.
Okay. You know, because most of these IEC, all of them are Gambian people. What we fighting for is for the Gambia.
Okay.
And if you say the Gambia, it's for everybody. Mobe is Teklesoto, Molbe Nari, Milbe agriculture, you know, Molbe in the education, Molbe health, you know, Molbe Gaipa, you know, Molbe the IEC, Molbe in the media. Will be ludula soto mi yalan ko be lafring ay sanitize i ludula muli aje ko institution na mi yalan ko a jartale andu ngay bunya soto ay hormo soto nga fil ko telephone be la fela wala ye legacy tu ka je ko there was an independent electoral commission mi yalan ko milia institute milia constitute Gambian lem they have wives and families here and yela do ko ke sa tolla anyanta kala nyaming for Gambia transition sort of various transitions.
Okay.
So ngole feel and all those people, especially Joe Colley, the present chairman. I know him. I used to know him. I used to know him.
Okay.
Malo momondi la mo ini mo lonyalam. There are people who know him otherwise. But for me, I know him. I think he's a very credible somebody, and I want to wish I institutional lead. So that most of until ngamira IEC be nyame yarfa IEC until ngamira IEC mo a separate mo le mi ke kemira outside Gambia but if na kemira ko Gambia kilo
in the Gambia. Manneh, is UDP by any chance standing to do coalition with other political parties like GDC and all of that?
UDP mamira nene balanta coalition because UDP was born out of a coalition.
Okay.
I said it here.
Yeah, sure.
UDP is a coalition of GPP led by the late Asan Musa Kamara Nakeba. Yalante nte mo kebal la dinno wala.
I know.
Adun yin kebal be ni e ku share and this wallahi gambanko kanula balu. Nyimbanko kanula bala. They wouldn't be happy knowing ko nyimbanko to tenne. Nga ojelo na nakebalum.
Sure.
Wallahi. He wouldn't be happy knowing banko being alhalol to tell.
It's like we just change the face, but the system isn't changed. It's still there.
So UDP law ta wala nyama, wala nata together ka UDP law. And kabiring banning lift afang, 2021 election one time UDP still, there was this coalition again, PPP then under the leadership of OJ. I follow, you know what? In as much as the ban is lifted and then we have done our thing, but then let's collide with the UDP, the mainstream UDP. You understand? And then we make sure Usienu lead. Because UDP la structuring nyamale I don't tell PPP after the ban na structure losing the demanding.
Okay.
So obviously let us be with them continue, you understand, and Usienu would lead. And if he leads ngajiko sotoko ko betala and atata wala nyama. So over and over, if you go, there was a time, there was a coalition of alliance of UDP and NRP,
sure.
Balang TJ, you understand? And then 2016, change Nyata Nyaming, UDP have never said no to that.
Any coalition.
Okay. So today, I'm not saying from UDP, UDP would work towards that.
Okay.
And my campaign is going to work towards that. Because Mimbembulu, Gambia le Bembulu, Gambia Kule Bembulu. Adu ngaje ko atekeno la kafu kilinda makuti Gambia be kolam nyin kafol mil bebe in the opposition miral kilinde bela kaje ko baro man sakunda ngi nyoridi dom ngi fonyondi domanding Gambia dingol le beje bari be tarla jan ni tara ko kono bari man sakunda la tamandinya and atela leadership no jenkende bang another face even though the same people can come we work because mbemo Gambia dingol leti ha wadam mal betar laje UDP would work towards
that.
wanting other political parties or what other individuals to come and join hands together to effect change for the Gambia, not for UDP.
Let's talk about Nanama Keita. Nanama Keita is a prominent member of United Democratic Party. Allegation on Leketa. In fact, at the statement of Bonlekafuko, they are trying to report her to the U.S. U.S. Department.
Army.
Yes, exactly. I don't know whether those allegations are true or
no idea.
You have no idea. Okay. Before we wrap up, former President of Dambelly, Yaya Jammeh, and he said he's coming to the country. So I don't know how prepared are we
for his
Yaya Jammeh kana.
Oh really? Oh, okay. Yeah.